Want to get married? Try to choose right the first time. This is the Joyfully Married After podcast, episode 34. This is Joyfully Married After with Heath and Tracy. I'm Heath.
And I'm Tracy.
We're joyfully married after how many years, baby?
26.
26 years, 4 kids, corporate jobs, entrepreneurs, and this podcast is our view on life through our lens.
Let's go. We have spent the past year producing an 8-subject premarital course called What Else? Joyfully Married After. This course was created to help bring you clarity around why you want to spend the rest of your life with another person. Also showing you the roadmap to prepare, grow, and renew your current relationship into a joyful marriage.
So if you're engaged, a newlywed, or married, need to refresh your relationship, and you're ready to be joyful, not just occasionally happy, head on over to joyfullymarriedafter.com right now. We were talking about choosing the right partner.
The first time, people, why do you think half of our marriages end in divorce? I'm sorry. I really think this is a major problem.
Got to measure twice, cut once.
Okay.
A stitch in time saves 9.
Okay. I love him so much. He's so funny. But really.
Spend a little time.
Spend a little time making this decision about who you're going to marry. You know, I think this particular podcast is important because you have to choose the right person the first time. If you're thinking about saying, you just can't be marrying anybody because you want to buy that wedding dress.
Choose your right boo.
You know, choose the right boo. Choose the right boo. So that's what we're talking about today. We got this idea from a HuffPost article.
Yeah, it was an article from a couple years, 2 or 3 years ago. Right?
Read by Lena Derhally. It was pretty good, and we agree with most of it. So we're gonna run through some things you need to think about first before you say I do.
We'll put the Heath and Tracy spin on it.
Of course we will. Of course.
Put you in the spin cycle.
Right. So this is a big one for us.
Yep.
The first one is, don't be fearful.
Yep.
Don't make the decisions about your next step or what he thinks about me or what she's thinking or does she want to have kids. Don't make that first step out of fear.
Right.
No fear here.
Yeah. You don't want to deal with fear. Anytime you're feeling fear, then you need to cancel that.
Yeah. When you're in fear, that's going to lead to confusion, anxiety,
desperation.
You know, you're going to get to a place of making a mistake.
Right.
If you're out here afraid of something, if you're afraid he's going to move on, if you're afraid she's going to move on, if you're afraid, whatever, it could be anything. It could be afraid I'm not going to be able to have kids.
Yep.
It could be afraid I'm not going to keep up with my friends because they're all married.
Yep. And when you do things out of fear, a lot of times it's going to kill your confidence.
Yeah.
Which is so attractive in the first place, right? A lot of people are attracted to confidence. And when you're doing things out of fear or desperation or concern, what have you, is not going to work. Yeah,
and I'd have to say for Heath and I's relationship, there was no fear.
Yeah, we were so comfortable. It's such a place of, hey, I'm good, you good, whatever. We've done a lot of different things. We just approached it in a way of having fun.
And that's partially how we knew. We were at that place in our lives. We were about to graduate from college, and we had dealt with other people.
Yeah.
We kind of knew what we didn't want and what we wanted. And when we found one another, we felt comfortable, and there was no fear. That was part of the reason I was into it.
Right.
That was part of the reason I did want to marry you, because I had no fear around being with you in the future, your future ideas, your future thoughts, the way you think. I had no fear around it whatsoever.
Yep. I think that that's really important, because whether or not you're in college or you're a bit older, what have you, it's that being in that proper mental space, right? Having that swag of, I'm good, right? And so it's a confidence of being in a good place, in a personal space, in a good head space. It reminds me that there's a line in a T.I. song that I forget the whole line, but it ends with the swagger of a college kid.
Oh, Yeah, that feeling you had when you're about to graduate. You're on top of the world.
Yeah. So I think the point there is back to the confidence, right? And when you're not operating in fear, you're gonna have confidence. You're gonna have fun. You're gonna be open-minded. You're taking life as it comes. You're being conscious and conscientious that I'm good. So if I meet someone who is perfect for me, I'm down with it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people make a mistake in choosing the wrong partner when they fear being by themselves.
Yep.
They fear I'm gonna be alone if I don't get with this person.
Yep.
Stop that. That's where you're messing up. That's the first place you're messing up. You have to stop being fearful of being alone. Just chill and wait for the right person.
That goes perfectly into the second point here, baby, in terms of being careful about jumping into committed relationships like right out the bat. So if you're operating in fear, what will happen is as soon as you find someone that you feel a connection to, now you're all in. Okay, well, you met them yesterday. All right, so you all in today?
That's ridiculous.
It's like you going hard. You making plans for the wedding. It was like, whoa, pump your brakes.
I met my wife.
Pump your brakes, player.
That's my husband. I dreamed he was my husband.
Still,
Come on, people.
You still got to get to know him a little bit.
You have to get to know them. You have to get through these different stages. There are different stages in a relationship. And when you're in the beginning, it's kind of like fun. It's like fantasy-like. It's like you're not really in the real world.
Yeah.
And you have to recognize that. So you don't get into that, oh, we doing this. We are exclusive off the rip. I think you should take time to become exclusive.
Yeah.
I think for us, we were pretty fast, but it took us about 2 months, I'd say.
Yeah, something like that.
It was like,
but
it was about 2 months before we were like, okay,
right,
this me, and I'm you.
But we also spent a lot of time talking and getting to know one another, and having a deep dive into values and a lot of other things.
Oh, you got people out here becoming exclusive after a week or two.
Exactly.
No, that's a no.
And so that can set you up for failure in the vein of if you go emotionally all in, both feet too quickly, and then the next thing you know, you're in a month or 2 or 3, and now you're discovering a number of red flags about this person that you were kind of overlooking because you were so in.
Yeah.
Now you're in the wrong place because you're so invested, you're so tied up. You had all of these mental fantasies about where things were going, and now you realize that you're with the wrong person as opposed to taking it more slowly from a mental perspective.
And then emotionally, let's talk about that.
Right.
You all wrapped up emotionally.
Yep.
And now something's happened with the understanding of the relationship, and now you're upset.
Yep.
Now you're messed up. Now you're hurt. Let's not. I'm not saying don't step into a relationship with fear. There we go to the first one of being hurt. I'm saying take a chill pill, chill out. Give one another. Write the timing down. Hey, I'm really digging you. I really like spending all this time with you.
Yep.
But let's understand something here, guys. We got to get back to communicating.
Yep.
Whenever the girl goes, so what are we doing here? What does that say to a guy?
Then maybe you should be open-minded and dating with purpose as opposed to just wasting people's time.
Yeah, and that goes to, being considerate of the other person's feelings. So, dude, if a chick is asking you, what are we doing here? You need to answer her with a quickness.
Yes, that's a light bulb moment.
And tell the truth. If you're not doing anything here, you need to tell her right then and there.
That's like the cartoons when the bubble comes over here. It's like, oh. Okay, we just crossed over in the serious zone.
Yeah,
I need to be
did.
I need to be very mindful about how I answer this.
Yeah, you do. And I have to say, baby, I never had to ask you that question.
Nope, because I was in the right place in the right space.
I think the way we figured out we were exclusive is, do you remember?
Do I remember?
You don't remember?
I remember many things, baby.
Okay.
What is it that you're alluding to right here in this moment?
I was getting ready. We were down in the basement watching something.
In the basement?
Yeah,
yes.
Watching something on TV.
Yes.
I was getting ready to go upstairs and get something for you, water or something to drink. And as I was walking away, you asked me.
What did I say, baby?
You said, are you falling in love with
me?
me?
Are you falling in love with me, Tracy?
And I was like, oh my God.
Did he just ask me that?
Did he just really ask me that?
Oh my
I mean,
God.
I've thought about it,
He
but
knows.
he knows. Oh my God.
How
Why
does
is he
he-
asking me? How do I answer this question?
How does he know?
I took a deep breath and I said, yeah,
Yeah.
I am falling in love with you.
I said, that's good. Because I'm falling in love with you too. The good old days.
That was the moment when I was done.
Yep.
I was just completely done.
Yep. Yep.
And so when you get to those points in the relationship, respect those points.
Yep.
And then have a conversation about it.
And that takes us to the third point here, baby, that dovetails so well into your previous statement. Is that the reason that we were able to get to that point was because you gave it a chance.
Yeah, I did. I really did.
And I think that was something that both of us have experienced in our lives, where we were always open to people.
Yeah, I was.
We didn't place these parameters on. He has to be this type. She has to be that type. She has to be this shape.
Nope.
She has to be this hue.
I was never
She has
like
to
that.
be this complexion. She has to be this. You know, it was
like everybody likes now tall, dark, and handsome. I mean, what's up with that, y'all? Really? Can we give the other people a chance?
So the third point here is give people a chance that you normally wouldn't necessarily give a chance to, based on some type of predetermined physical requirements that you have in your mind that is your type.
He's not my type. What? He's human.
I think
and he
that,
likes you. What other type do you need?
So let me speak to it. I don't know if this is necessarily from a guy's perspective, but this is more from my perspective.
Oh, here we go.
And the way that I've always approached things.
Okay.
Where I just always enjoyed women. Just
Okay.
the company of women, the beauty of women.
And different women.
And all types of women, right? So from the perspective of a woman's beauty can come through in her personality.
Sure can.
It can come through in her smile. It can come through in her dress, in her swag,
Her walk, baby.
in her flyness,
yes,
in her stride, in
her essence.
Exactly.
That je ne sais quoi.
The je ne sais quoi is always been so key for me. And so the point is that enabled me to date dark women, light women, medium women, tall women, short women, fair complected, dark. It's like it didn't matter.
Beautiful, not so cute.
It's like there's so many different things that a person comes in package. They come in all types of packages.
Right.
And so the point here is that when you're open-minded and understanding that that's what it is, let's just see what happens.
I think there's a maturity around that.
Yeah.
You know, I really do. I think if you're out here just looking for a certain type, a certain height,
Yep.
a certain car, a certain swag,
Yep.
a little bit of thug, whatever you're looking for,
Right.
you're messing up right there. My thing with Heath when we started dating was he was actually dating somebody else.
I was not.
Well, that's what I was told. I was told point blank that he had a girlfriend. And my rule, my entire life, was a huge, huge taboo. We're grown people. We're in college. We're establishing real relationships here.
Right.
I'm not messing with you if you have a girlfriend.
Yep.
I don't care.
Right.
I think I dig you, you dig me, but I just can't do that to another woman. Well, this particular year was my senior year. I was getting ready to come out of Howard University.
Yep.
And I was just like in a place of, I'm just going to have fun this year.
Yep.
I'm just going to have fun. I'm not going to get into anybody. I'm trying to get out of here and get to law school.
Yep.
So it was actually attractive to me that he had a girlfriend because I was like, oh, good. He has somebody he has to concentrate on. So he won't be worried about me all the time. We'll just hang out, have a little fun, and then he can go back to his serious relationship. This is what I was thinking, y'all. I was doing something I had never in my life done before. Never in my life of dating had done before. It just was something I just didn't do. I didn't believe in it. I don't believe in it now. I didn't believe in it. And when our mutual friend said, yeah, he got a girlfriend, I was like, oh, that's different from me. Let me try that. because that frees me up from a commitment.
Yes.
That's what I was looking. I was looking for a non-committed, fun, final year in college relationship. And look what I got.
28 years later.
Oh my God. Are you serious? Did
4
I have
children.
I mean, it's like, really? But the bottom line here is that I did something different.
Yep.
I did something that I gave a guy a chance that I normally would not give. I wouldn't have looked at him twice. Every time he would have stepped to me, I would have stepped the other way. I've done it. I've done it.
Yep.
I hung out with this one dude. We hung out for months. Months. And one day I was like, do you have a girlfriend? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I never really talked to him again after that because I just felt that's wrong. I just always felt that was wrong.
So, baby, before we go to the next one, I just wanted you to talk a little bit more about your approach to men prior to meeting me, because I always thought that was really fascinating about how you would give different men different opportunities to get to know you a little bit more. How you dated a lot of different types of guys, African guys, regular guys, fly guys, pretty
with
boys,
no money,
guys with a lot of money, guys with no money. So I just wanted you to speak to that. Just
I could probably do like a mini series on. I was curious. I grew up in South Florida, very sheltered in a predominantly white community. And at one point in middle school, I was the only black girl in the whole school. So I was used to white guys, and I was used to how they were. I knew who they were. I knew how to interact with them. But I chose to go to Howard University. I loved my father. I loved the relationship I had with my father and my stepfather. And the men in my life were all men of color. So I was excited to be submersed into this community of beautiful black men. On top of that, I was in D.C. So that's like even more.
D.C.
So I was like in this mode of, if he likes me and he's a decent person and we have like interests, I'm going to go out on a date. That don't mean I'm going to sleep with you. That don't mean that we're going to have a committed relationship. I've probably been on 1,000 dates, y'all. I'm going to say yes to my phone number. I'm going to say yes to a neutral location to have a conversation that you're probably going to pay for.
Yep.
So in doing that, I was just free. I was free when an interesting person approached me. I didn't have any attachment to how they looked. I could have my eyes closed. That's pretty much how I did it. I didn't consider the way they looked. I've dated guys that were on campus by the skin of their nose, and the parents didn't support them at all, and they were doing everything themselves, and they had 2 jobs and no money. I've dated those guys. I've dated people who were millionaires that happened to be students and had absolutely everything at their at their disposal, and would shower me with money and trips and gifts. I've dated very, very beautiful men. Very, very lusciously beautiful men.
Sometimes we call them pretty boys.
Yeah, and I'm not going to expand on my conversation. I'm going to leave it at that. And I've dated the regular. I've dated players. I knew they were a player. I knew what they wanted. I was just very curious about black men in general. And because I'd been around white guys all my life. So I was very, very curious about the black male. And it was almost like college was like an experiment for me. Because it was just like, I hear what they say about this kind of dude. But really, what is this kind of dude?
You have firsthand experience.
Oh, yeah. I can tell you about all of them.
And I guess the point that I wanted to make about that, baby, and your experience and your approach was because you had all of those experiences, when you met me, and when we connected and when we vibed and when it just fit together so well, you were so comfortable with that because of the experience.
I think that, and by that time, I knew what I wanted, and I knew what I didn't want. I think I shared with you the story of I had a year of celibacy, and it was by choice, and it was wonderful. And during that year, I asked God to help my person find me. And I basically said, this is my person. This is who I think my person should be. and I'm going to leave it at that, God. I'm not dealing with anybody else. I didn't date anybody. I didn't go out with anybody. I did girls' nights like 100 times. And I didn't even lead anybody on or anything.
Yep.
And he appeared in my life.
Boom.
Everything on the freaking checklist.
Which takes us to the next topic, which is
I had a checklist.
Throw your checklist out the window.
I know. I'm not sure about this one.
A lot of people have checklists. Well,
I don't have a problem with the checklist.
I think the checklist here is really dovetailing into the previous conversation of give people a chance that you normally wouldn't give a chance to.
Yeah.
And so, the checklist of what you think this person should be and all of those kinds of things that you have, that all of these boxes that they need to check. I think that when you have a predetermined checklist of what this person has to be,
yeah, I see that.
What may occur is that the person that you meet may create a whole new checklist that you didn't even know existed.
I don't know. I think you need to check your checklist.
Okay, check it.
If your checklist is about physical stuff and monetary stuff, you need to scratch all that stuff off your list.
That's a great point, baby.
My list was I wanted a Southern man. I know I'm from the South. Yeah. As much as people try to tell me I'm not. No, you from California. I'm not from the South. I'm from Florida. My boy Joaquin. I know. And I really wanted a Southern guy. I just felt during my years in school, I related better to guys that were south of the Mason-Dixon line. Yep. I don't know what to tell you. Maryland below. That was my dude. Yeah.
So a great relationship that has emotional compatibility.
Yeah.
A person that makes you feel
that's what I was looking
properly.
For. Yeah.
As opposed to something else.
Yeah, that was my checklist.
Right.
It wasn't how you looked or any of that or what you had. It was about things I knew I needed to be, ready to have a commitment with somebody. Exactly. I just really wanted, that was probably the shallowest thing I wanted was a Southern guy.
Yeah.
Everything else was pretty, like respectful, didn't curse. Was about his family. I wanted someone family oriented, and I wanted someone that believed in God.
And all of that goes right into the fifth point here is that what you want to do is look for qualities that are the foundation of a good partnership. And you throw out the tiny details, meaning that you want empathy,
right,
honesty. You want those things that you talked about.
Sense of humor.
Kindness, sense of humor, someone who treats their mom well, and all of those
that should be your list.
Yeah.
That should be your list. And those things, I don't think you should veer from. I think that's important.
Right.
You have to think about your deal breakers. You do have deal breakers, and you need to think about them. And just because he's fine or he has a lot of money or he treats you really, really well, if there's a deal breaker he's not meeting, you need to not continue that.
Yeah, deal breakers are deal breakers. That's why they call them deal breakers.
Like, I really like him, but he's not Christian. And it's like,
I love him so much, but he's a devil worshiper.
It's like, God, no, I can get him to change. No, you have to take people the way they are. You really do.
Yes.
Now, the next one, I don't think we adhered to very well.
Don't let lust be your guide.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry.
But I think that
these days, I think it's more important.
When you have chemistry with someone, I think the point that the article was making here is that don't let the chemistry just be sex. Don't let the chemistry just be the lust.
I'm smiling right
now. Or the magnetism of you without exploring these other things that we're talking about.
Oh my God, we had so much sex. I don't think I had sex with anybody as much as Heath. It was ridiculous.
So what are you saying?
No, I'm just saying I'm not so sure we were holding to this one right here.
Yeah. I think that because we integrated all of these other points.
We started with the other points.
We started with all of these other points.
That's how we ended up okay.
Exactly right. It wasn't the whole relationship wasn't hinged upon we just have great sex. The relationship was enhanced because we had great sex. It didn't hinge on that.
I understand that.
That was a phenomenal add-on. Is what I'm saying.
Promise, baby.
Of course.
Okay. I'm in total agreement. I think the fact that the sex was so good was just it was like, oh my God, this is my guy.
You can't build a house on a foundation of sand.
Absolutely
And
not.
if our foundation was not proper,
Yeah, it would have shown.
we would not be going into our 29th year of marriage.
Right. You're right, baby.
Of course I am.
I just remembered.
Because
we
I'm a
had
bad-
lot of sex.
Because I'm a bad dude.
Yes, you are.
See? There you go. So don't just let lust be your guide is the point.
That's a good way. Don't let just lust. You know.
There you go.
Okay. What's the next one?
Don't confuse the emotional roller coaster with being crazy about somebody. You know, sometimes you have those relationships, you run into people where they play games. They play mental games with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Do this, don't do that. I'm good. Okay, we good today? Okay, tomorrow now we're not good all of a sudden. So this is going on. That it's like you're going up and down, and now these people are got you doing all these mental calisthenics, but because of your connection is strong in maybe a physical area, or because there's something else happening,
Or because you've been together for a while.
right? You're overlooking this roller coaster that you're on, and
Yeah,
really,
that happened to me.
Yeah.
I was in a long-term relationship and we were planning to get married, and all of a sudden he just flaked out on me.
Mhm.
And I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And it was interesting because I was willing to subject myself to this emotional crazy.
Right.
Because I thought we were supposed to get married.
Right.
And in hindsight, when I finally awakened
Yep.
from my insanity, I don't even know another word for it, guys. I realized how crazy all of it was, and I removed myself from that situation.
Yep.
And you kind of went through the same thing in a weird kind of way.
Yeah, I did.
Where it was this constant up and down,
Right.
this constant hot and cold.
Yep.
And what at what point were you like, okay, this is not right?
Yeah, I probably did not come to grips with it not being right. I mean, I could feel it, but as I think back on it, I still had not come to grips with it.
That it wasn't right.
That it would not lend itself to being a positive long-term relationship.
Really?
Or
So it took you a while to
marriage.
figure that out.
I never figured it out.
Oh.
I was conflicted by it internally, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we talked about that before. And the point was, I felt because I had invested so much time.
Yeah, same here.
That I was just trying to make it work.
I wasn't trying to make it work. I was trying to figure out why I felt so crazy. I was like, why is he making me feel so crazy?
Right.
Like I wanted to kill myself.
Right.
And I felt that it was okay
Uh-huh.
to feel that way
Yeah.
because he loved me.
Right. Right.
Because he wanted to wife me.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I felt like, oh, it's okay. He's
Yeah.
going to make it up to me somehow.
Right.
And I would just dismiss these crazy feelings I was having about the way he was treating me. He was treating me poorly.
Yeah.
And I would dismiss all of that because he had promised me
Yeah.
to marry me, and he promised me that he loved me. And that
Right.
was it.
Mhm.
But it was crap.
Yeah.
And I literally just prayed the pain away. I had to.
Yeah.
I prayed the pain away. I prayed the confusion away.
Mhm.
And after I did, it was clear as day.
Yep.
This is a crazy situation.
After
right
it was
here.
after it was
Yeah.
done, after it was over, that was the same thing for me. It was very clear. But
Yeah.
when I was in it, it was just like it was very cloudy.
Yeah, it
And
is.
so I was probably compartmentalizing all of the drama. And so it was a new year. It was, going into my last year of school. And so I was like, okay, so clean slate. Whatever has happened. Bygones are bygones. Let's do this.
You
want to
did the whole question.
do you want to do this for
Right.
real, or we're not gonna do it?
Right. That was your question.
That was my
So what
question.
made you ask that question?
Because I wanted a clean slate. I wanted to be clear. They say in the church, all hearts and minds clear. So that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to be clear about how I was moving forward with my
gotcha.
life, with my senior year, with
her.
In general. Yeah, with her, all of that. So
Right.
that's why I was trying to be clear. I was trying to start the year with a fresh start, clean slate.
Yeah.
So she gave me the answer. I was like, awesome.
But why did you feel awesome?
Because it was an answer and it gave me clarity.
Oh.
I'm like, that's great. you're lost.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I walked out the door. And so that's why I was not dealing with anyone when I met you a week later.
Well, I think most of your friends, most of our mutual friends did not know of that conversation.
Right. Yes,
That's
true.
all.
That's true. It was a 3-year relation. Okay, so enough of that.
It's okay. We can talk about it, baby.
We can talk about it. You want to talk about it some more?
No, I'm just saying I want people to understand
Yes.
if they're feeling that way. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That high and that low, that crazy.
Yep.
You need to step away from
High,
that.
high, low, crazy equals runaway.
Equals run. That's not love. That's not love. That's not your commitment to love. That's not their commitment to love. That is not love.
That's not what you want.
Right. That's what I wanted to say with that.
That's not what you want.
And then this the next one is I really like.
Find someone you can be yourself with.
Yes. Can I say that really, really loud?
Oh, you don't want to blow it out, baby. They tell you when you podcast, you shouldn't be in the red. So you don't want to yell. You don't want to yell into it because then it's going to be distorted on the playback.
I'm sorry. But this one really excites me. I was dealing with somebody at the same time I was dealing with Heath, and I woke up one morning. I went to cut my hair. Y'all know how that is. I had a nice length of hair. I wanted to cut it. I wanted to cut it, and I wanted to color it, and so I did.
Cut and color.
And I came to class the next day, and the other dude I was dealing with was like, "Why'd you cut your hair?" That's what he said, y'all. I was like, "'Cause I wanted to." Oh. What did my baby say?
I ain't say nothing. I said look good.
Period. I don't need no more than that. I don't need your approval.
Yep.
I don't need your acceptance.
Nope.
Just tell me it looks good and keep it moving. And the other person did not do that. So I had an immediate connection to Heath because I was like, oh my God, he likes me.
I like you.
He doesn't like my hair. He doesn't like my body. He doesn't like the fact that I smile great.
I like you.
He liked me. He liked those things about me.
Right.
And those were attractive things to him. But he liked me.
Yep.
He liked the essence of me.
Right. And that creates that safe space, right? It makes it comfortable when you can be yourself. You don't have to play games. You don't have to put on airs. You just are you.
And if you have to do all that stuff,
that's not the right person.
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 Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Don't keep waiting. This is number 9, y'all. Don't keep waiting for something to change that obviously will not change.
Are you worshiping the devil again?
You stop it.
That's probably not gonna change, man.
You want to go to the fried chicken place again, baby?
Oh my God, baby, the fried chicken thing, baby. You gonna keep packing the pounds on? That's not good.
No,
you
that's
need
not
to change
good.
that up.
Oh, okay, so
I
know.
love fried chicken. I always eat fried chicken. I'm from the South. My mama cook fried chicken every Thursday, so I eat fried chicken. And if you don't like the fact that I eat fried chicken, then cluck on you.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Now those are kind of simplified.
Yeah.
I don't know about the devil worship thing. But if the person is not interested in your same walk with Christ in any way, shape, or form,
whatever your personal values are,
they don't have to go to the same church.
Yeah.
They don't have to know all the same hymns. They don't have to know they don't have to be like that. But if they're not even interested in your walk with Christ, I would definitely say that's a red flag.
Yeah. Yeah.
If your food interests are different, I don't mean they don't eat meat and you do. That's not what I'm saying. That's something definitely you can deal with. I'm talking they don't like food and you love food. That's a problem.
When we see on TV that time, that dude was like some kind of Aeritarian.
My God. That's what it's called. Come on. That's breakfast. It's like, you have got to be joking. You know, or they, something else, like maybe they drink a lot and you don't drink that much, or they smoke weed a lot and you don't. Those are things that, you need to make a decision about. It's not about changing somebody to fit your mold.
Yeah.
And if you are changing your personal values for them, If you say, okay, I'm going to smoke a little bit more weed, or I'm going to smoke some squares, or I'm going to drink more, maybe I'll just drink some wine just to be more comfortable about them. Let's go to the one we just said before that. You're not yourself.
Yeah.
You're not being yourself, or you're not letting them be themselves.
Now, that's a different thing than, you meeting someone and everything lines up, but they're Jewish and you're not, and one of you decide to convert. That's a different thing. That's a different thing than saying, okay, I am all about skydiving and jumping out of planes and riding fast motorcycles and doing all of this stuff, and you are fervently against that.
Or you don't have fun. Those things aren't fun to you.
Yeah.
Jumping out of planes, jumping out of perfectly good airplanes is not fun for
all
me.
the time.
All the time. Oh, every weekend I'm going to climb some mountain. Or every year I'm planning to climb Kilimanjaro. And you're not down with that. You need to check that relationship.
Yeah, you got to evaluate it.
You don't want to change them.
Yeah.
And you definitely don't want to change yourself. You if you can meet in the middle, if it's something that you can kind of agree on, that's different. But if you see a person and their values, that's what I'm talking about mostly, their personal values.
Right.
You don't want their personal values to infringe upon yours.
Right.
So keep that in mind.
Make sure y'all align.
And last but not least,
have some fun, y'all.
Oh my gosh, I love having fun.
Have some fun, people.
It's less pressure if you're having fun in the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going into it with open mind. You're having fun. You're being yourself. And that's just going to enhance the fun that you're going to have. And it's going to make you more receptive to receiving that person.
And more attractive to that person.
Exactly right.
If you're always having fun. If you're always moaning and complaining and hemming and hawing and whatever else they want to call it, you are no fun. We were talking about a stick in the mud the other day, weren't we? Guys, you have to keep having fun. Right. Ladies, don't be that chick. You want to be the fun chick in his life. You want to be the chick. He's like, yes, I can't wait to get with so-and-so. She going to be fun. There's nothing wrong with that.
Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourself with me. There you go. That was our song, guys. We try to throw a song in there every now and then.
So do this when y'all looking for a mate.
All right. Make sure you're choosing right the first time. That way you don't have to do it again. All right.
Thanks again for listening today, folks. If you liked any of what you heard, please like, comment, and subscribe to our podcast. Tell a friend, too. You can engage us at heathentracy.com for all the goings on in our world. Queen Tracy, speak to the people.
Bye, loves.